How to overcome temptation. In the spiritual battle that Christians face against the devil, the main battleground is temptation. However, we are not alone in this fight. Jesus, the supreme example, went through similar temptations and prevailed, showing that we too can defeat Satan. To understand how to do this, let's carefully examine how Christ triumphed in his own desert. After his baptism by John the Baptist, Jesus was led by the Holy Spirit into the wilderness, where he fasted for 40 days and nights. In this moment of extreme vulnerability and hunger, the devil appeared to tempt him. Today, let's look at the 3 attempts that Jesus faced. In the first attempt, the devil approached him and said, "If you are the Son of God, turn these stones into bread." The devil is a master at persuading us to choose the easiest and most attractive path. Jesus was very hungry, and he had the power to turn stones into bread. The devil suggested that Jesus use his power to satisfy his immediate need. Yes, Jesus needed food, but the question was how he would obtain it. God led him into the wilderness without provisions on purpose, but the devil wanted Jesus to act independently and find his own solution. The devil wanted to create a dilemma in Jesus' mind: trust in God or solve his problem on his own. Jesus could have used his power like a magic lamp, turning stones into bread at will, exactly what the devil wanted. However, Jesus responded wisely, saying, "Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God." Seeing this example, we realize that Jesus always turns to the scriptures to face the devil, and that is the same path we must follow to overcome our temptations. An important lesson here is that the devil attacks our weaknesses, choosing attempts that address us more deeply. These attempts often occur when we are emotionally fragile or when we face intense carnal desires. Moreover, the devil often makes wrong things seem right, making the temptation more appealing. However, like Jesus, we are primarily invited to prioritize our obedience to God above our immediate needs. We cannot compromise our faith and trust in God because of the difficulties we face in our lives. Now, let's analyze the second attempt. In it, the devil takes Jesus to the holy city and places him on the highest point of the temple and said, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, He will command His angels concerning you, and they will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone." Jesus responded to the previous attempt by saying that he trusted every word that comes from the mouth of God. But here Satan is saying, "Well, if you trust God so much, then test him. Jump down from here and see if he will save you." The devil wanted Jesus to create a situation of danger just because God had promised to keep him from all dangers. For this, he even used a passage from the Bible. But Jesus countered, saying, "It is also written, 'Do not put the Lord your God to the test.'" And what can we learn from this? First, the devil uses the scriptures. He takes isolated Bible verses and uses them as bait because he knows that people accept any teaching that is accompanied by some word of God. But we must be very careful because Satan can disguise himself as an angel of light and distort the word of God for his own benefit. And notice that Jesus countered, saying, "It is also written." In other words, we need to truly know the word of the Lord so that we are not deceived by some verse out of context. Satan is cunning and clever, and Jesus won another point, but Lucifer did not give up for a second. So, the devil soon returned for another attempt. Therefore, we must always be in communion, praying and studying the Word of God, as it is written in 1 Peter, chapter 5, "Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy the devil prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour." Now, let's analyze the third attempt. I see that it is written in verses 8 and 9, "Again, the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. All this I will give you," he said, "if you will bow down and worship me." If we stop to analyze this proposal from the devil, we see that the main point was not for Jesus to become king, because God had already promised that to him. but rather it was about how he would become king. In Hebrews, chapter 2, verse 9, we see that the Lord promised the reign to his Son after his suffering. Yet the devil offered a shortcut. In other words, the crown without showing that we should not want to hasten God's plans for our life because only He knows how everything should happen. So, Jesus replied, "Away from me, Satan. For it is written, worship the Lord your God, and serve Him only." And what can we learn from this? First, Satan pays the price it takes to defeat us. The devil offered everything to buy Jesus. So, if there is a price that makes you disobey God, know that the devil will offer to pay it. And second, the devil offers shortcuts. He offers the easiest path to power and victory. Jesus decided against the proposal because he knew that before reigning, he should obey even unto death on the cross. And today, Satan leads churches and even uses biblical lies to convert people, using, for example, the prosperity theology, the immortality of the soul, and false teachings, where man is the center of the universe. Whereas, in reality, the true way to present Christ to people is the gospel, where he is the center. So, if we want to win our spiritual battle, we must act exactly as Christ did, trusting in God, using the scriptures, and resisting the devil. Jesus never did what he knew was not right because he was committed to walking the paths that the Father had for him. May God help us to do the same. And that was another word of faith. If you liked it, share this message with your friends and subscribe to the channel here so you don't miss the next video. God bless.